வணக்கம். இது சிறப்பு நேர்காணல். நம்முடைய இன்றைய சிறப்பு விருந்தினர் காங்கிரஸ் கட்சியின் இளம் தலைவர், நாடாளுமன்ற உறுப்பினர் திரு ராகுல் காந்தி அவர்கள். வணக்கம்.
வணக்கம் வணக்கம் and வணக்கம் to everybody who's watching.
The elections are announced now. Are you battle ready? Is the Congress party battle ready?
Congress party is battle ready. I am very clear in my mind what I see as the issues in the election in Tamil Nadu and how these issues impact the larger nation. So yeah, we are ready to go.
For you, it's an important election that will have an impact in across India, do you think?
All elections are important because they are an expression of the people's will, and I think there are certain challenges in Tamil Nadu which I have been mentioning in my speeches, and I think those challenges are important for the country. Carrying everybody together, respect of all different cultures, different histories, different traditions, affection, no hatred, no anger. So I think those are the values that we are fighting for.
In the last elections, you are fighting in the alliance of DMK. The same alliance is continuing. What is the status of this alliance?
We are in negotiations as far as the seats are concerned, and we are talking to the DMKs. It's intact, but the negotiations are on the seat sharing, and that's a process that is taking place. I think we are in that conversation right now, and our team is working with the DMK. So I'm pretty confident.
So what is the key issues the DMK Congress alliance is going to make for Tamil Nadu elections?
If you look at our nation is a union of states, meaning the idea of our nation is a number of states come together on certain principles of mutual respect, principles of affection, principles of minimum rights. What the RSS is doing is attacking these principles. So the RSS is essentially saying that we want to redefine the Indian nation, and in doing so they are disrespecting aspirations of many of our people. So the Prime Minister says one nation, one culture, one tradition. Does he mean that Tamil is not a culture? Does he mean Tamil is not a language? Does he mean the Tamils don't have a history? What does he mean by this one nation, one culture? This is many cultures, many histories, many languages, many religions. So this is an assault on the very idea of our country. And so that's the first thing we are defending here, which is that you cannot disrespect the Tamil people. The Tamil people are part of India, and they are to be treated with respect and affection. Second part is, I see that Tamil Nadu has a huge potential. If I look at our country and I say to myself, okay, what is our biggest problem? Immediately the biggest problem comes out, it's jobs. What is the only way to solve the job problem? Manufacturing. Who understands manufacturing in India? Tamil Nadu. It's simple. So for me, the route to solving India's biggest problem comes from Tamil Nadu, because you have the capability, the understanding of how to do manufacturing. You have a base of small and medium industries. You have the ability to translate that into manufacturing units. That potential is not being lived up to. So the Chief Minister, unfortunately, because of his past, is controlled by the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister feels that just because he has ED, he has CBI, he can control Tamil Nadu. So we want to break this idea. We want to break the idea that the Prime Minister of India should run Tamil Nadu like his personal fiefdom. This is not anybody's personal fiefdom. This state belongs to the Tamil people. It belongs to their aspirations, it belongs to their history, their tradition. And it has to be run by someone who respects that tradition and somebody who is independent and is not trapped because of his past, is not trapped because he's been corrupt and Narendra Modi happens to control CBI and ED.
See, you are saying two important things, that the BJP is insulting Prime Minister Narendra Modi, insulting Tamil pride and Tamil sentiment by invoking one nation, one culture theory. But in his parliament speeches and his public meetings in Tamil Nadu, wherever he visits, he recites Tirukkural, he acknowledges Tamil, he glorifies Tamil history, Tamil culture. And how are you coming to the conclusion that they are insulting?
In Hindi, there is a word, niyat, intention, right? The Prime Minister comes to Tamil Nadu, praises Tirukkural. Prime Minister praises Gandhi. Whose ideology assassinated Gandhi? Which ideology assassinated Gandhi? So he will praise anybody he needs to praise to get to power. And he needs to get to power because he has a deal with 2 or 3 of the largest business people in this country. We will do your media presentation, we will do your marketing, you will bring us to power and give us India's wealth. A simple deal. Hum do, hamare do, which I said in Parliament, right? The fact of the matter is, India is multiple cultures. India is multiple ideas. And the Prime Minister doesn't believe that. If he believed that, he would not allow the type of assault that is happening on our institutions. He will not allow one institution to control our judiciary. He would not allow one institution to penetrate the press and control the press. He would not allow one institution to control the Indian bureaucracy. Today, one institution, the RSS, has its hands in every single institution.
Wherever you go, you speak about the control of Nagpur and you invoke the RSS also. Is there any particular reason?
Look around the country, right? This country used to have independent institutions. This country had a press that could stand up and say anything it wanted, right? Does that happen today? This country had a system, a structure, a legal system where it was 100% independent. It is very clear that the BJP is inserting, the RSS is inserting its people in all these institutions. It's very obvious. So you are taking away the institutional framework of this country. These institutions do not belong to the RSS. They do not belong to a political party. They do not belong to the Congress. They belong to the people of India. And you are subverting the will of the people of India. It is not that I have a problem with just the RSS. I have a problem with anybody who says that he is the person single-handedly who can determine the future of this country. I believe that the future of this country should be determined by 1.3 billion people. And what we have to do is we have to give them the institutions, the structures to make that choice.
It should be the collective will of the people.
Yes, and for that collective will to work, you need to give them structures. So it is not simply ki vote ho gaya and it's over. A democracy requires a judiciary that is independent, a press that is independent, a legislature that is independent. Look at the Parliament House. We're not allowed to speak. I mean, to make one speech, we have to have massive struggle, and then when we speak, they don't allow us to speak, they shout. So the entire thing is to control the narrative, to control the country, and for the benefit of 2 or 3 limited people, and then the RSS.
You are saying that freedom of expression is curtailed even in the Parliament.
I'm not saying it's curtailed, I'm saying it's crushed.
Even in the Parliament.
Everywhere. Everywhere. Right? And this is a problem that is beyond the RSS. Because it is not only the RSS. It is the RSS, it is Narendra Modi, it is 2 or 3 or 4 large crony capitalists who benefit from this. It is a machine. right? And this machine is very dangerous for this country.
What is your assessment of this present ADMK government led by Chief Minister Edappadi Palanichami?
I said that any government led by a person who is controlled by another person doesn't reflect the will of the people he represents. So if the Chief Minister actually stood for what the people of Tamil Nadu wanted, then you would have a Chief Minister who represents them. He is pressured by his past, means he doesn't represent the people of Tamil Nadu. It's an unfortunate thing.
Some time ago, in an interview, you have said that you have special love for Tamils and Punjabis.
I have love for everybody, okay? But there are certain things I like about certain states, right? And I find that, I said it in my speech yesterday, there is a sense of dignity in Tamil Nadu. I went yesterday to salt pan workers, the poorest people, okay? They are working 8 hours a day for years, barefoot inside salt pans with water and salt mixture. They have nothing, but they have dignity. They don't earn much money, but they have dignity. When they talk to you like a tiger. That's what I like. And I find that in the whole of Tamil Nadu. When they talk to you from their starting point is that we have self-respect. We believe in ourselves. That's something that is very strong about the Tamil people.
What makes Tamil Nadu and South distinct and different from the rest of the country? You are traveling across the country and interacting with people.
I don't think you can make a clear distinction between North and South. I think Kerala is different than Tamil Nadu. Andhra is different than Kerala and Tamil Nadu. In the same way, UP is different than Rajasthan. So these are all different ideas, and each one of them has a power, a strength, and we become powerful when we bring them together, right? If we bring all the states together in an embrace, then India becomes powerful. If we divide these states, if we divide these religions, if we divide these cultures by saying, sorry, there's only one culture, only one religion, only one language, right? We are not appreciating the power of our country. We are not like Germany. Narendra Modi ji thinks we are like Germany. Hitler used to say, one nation, one Führer, one people. This is not India. He likes to imagine it to be like that, right? Ein Volk, ein Führer. But it's not that. This is multiple different countries. And every region has its leader. And all these leaders have to be brought together in an embrace. That is the philosophy of the Congress. It's mutual respect. I can say Tamil Nadu is India, then I have to say India is Tamil Nadu. I cannot say Tamil Nadu is India and then say, sorry, India is not Tamil Nadu, India is Nagpur. So that's the difference. What we do is we bring everybody in the room and we say, okay, now let's talk, let's discuss, and let's work out what all of us want. Look at how they did GST. Forced it on everybody. Look at 1.3 billion people. The Prime Minister at 8 o'clock one evening demonetizes the currency. Is that respectful of Tamil people? Did he ask one Tamil man that would you like me to demonetize? Did he ask one Rajasthani person, do you want me to demonetize? Did he ask one leader over there, what will happen to you if we demonetize? This is the height of arrogance. And it is a conceit. He believes that he is the source of all understanding. RSS believes they are the source of all understanding. One day I was in Parliament. To give you an example, I read the Upanishads. One day one BJP MP comes to me and makes a statement. That day I had the Upanishad in my hand, little thing. And I said, boss, this what you're saying is contradicted by this. Look, read here. What you're saying is contradicted here in this line. He looks at me and says, you don't understand this book. He's never read the book. I'm taking the pain to read the book. And he's telling me I don't understand the book. That's the idea of the RSS.
You are also mentioning Tirukkural these days.
In fact, I got a copy, which I got because I wanted to show you something, which I'm amazed by this book. Now you say to me that Prime Minister quotes it. I don't know if he's read it. I'm going to read 2-3 lines of it for you. Today we have a water crisis. You agree?
Yeah.
We have an environmental crisis. Now look at what he says about the water, about rain. Joins sky to earth. It does life on our planet to sustain. And so heaven's true nectar is how we call the rain. Hundreds of years ago, he is realizing that the thing that connects the heaven to the earth is rain. This is a very profound thing. This is a very deep thing. Then he says, if food is what keeps us alive, it's rain that gives food its life. He's saying that you require an environmental balance. That you require that success is balance. And he's saying there is a balance between food, development, and rain, environment. And you can read this whole book, and every single line is like that. So for me, this is what is the wisdom of the Tamil people. This is what I want to use to build the nation, right? Together. I want to say that, look, Narendra Modi ji, read this book, because in this book there is wisdom. And we need to take the wisdom of the Tamil people, respect the wisdom of the Tamil people. Sorry, I mean,
No, we are very happy that you are reading Tirukkural.
Yeah, I am also very happy that I am reading it, because I am learning a lot from it. And I'm in a sense, what am I doing when I am reading this? I am bowing to Tamil culture. I am coming here as somebody who is not Tamil and saying, I want to learn from you. I want to understand from you. The same thing I do when I meet somebody. Yesterday I met the salt pan workers. They explained to me some things about what they're doing. So with all humility, I come to learn. I don't come with arrogance to tell you. Because if I came to tell you how to run your state, this would be arrogance. And I'm not an arrogant person.
You are traveling widely, you are interacting with people, grassroots. If you are doing the same as the party president, as the president of Congress party, the party will get political mileage. Why are you not so doing that?
The party is getting political mileage right now, and you're trying to distract the issue with this question. But party is getting mileage right now. I'm working for the party. I am giving a lot of effort for the party to help the party, and it's benefiting, hopefully.
It seems there are internal issues in the Congress that people give mandate to Congress in Puducherry, in Madhya Pradesh, and for the coalition in Karnataka. But state after state, the party is losing power through the engineered defections.
You know, you're a very polite man. You're calling it engineered defection. There's another word for it. It's called money. Okay, what is actually happening is crores and crores of rupees are being given as bribes to these people to defect. The BJP has a monopoly on corruption in this country today. They do the corruption, and they take all the money from the corruption, and they pass it on to MLAs of opposition parties. Currently they are trying to drop the government in Jharkhand. They dropped the government in Arunachal. They attempted in Rajasthan. They dropped it in Madhya Pradesh, right? So that's their style. They have captured all the institutions of the country. They have captured every single one of our major institutions, and they have a full monopoly.
How are you going to overcome this?
The only way this is going to get overcome is when the people of India clearly understand that these institutions belong to them and not to the BJP, that they belong to them and not to the RSS. And in fact, this is what this election is about. This election is about reclaiming the government of Tamil Nadu from the RSS. Today, Tamil Nadu believes that they have a government. Actually, the RSS is running the government. Because the chief minister of Tamil Nadu is compromised. Everybody knows that. I go and I attack the Prime Minister. Everybody says, I am very brave to attack the Prime Minister. There is only one reason I can attack the Prime Minister. Do you know what that is? That I am not corrupt. If I was a corrupt man, I could not be brave. My bravery comes from the idea that I have done absolutely nothing. You cannot touch me. That's where my bravery comes from. That's why I fight Narendra Modi. If I was corrupt, I couldn't. I would not be able to sit here and say this to you, because he'd use ED, he'd use CBI, and suddenly I'd be shaking in my seat. So that's the situation that Tamil Nadu finds itself in, unfortunately. I wish that the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu didn't have this past. I wish I didn't have to say that the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu is controlled by the Prime Minister. It doesn't make me happy to say it, but it's a fact.
At larger level, the regional parties are gaining power in various states. To fight BJP, the Congress alone can't defeat BJP across the country at national level. So, what is your strategy to strengthen the secular alliance, to fight for social justice and secularism,
So,
to bring the regional parties on one platform?
So first of all, the thing to understand is that this is a ideological battle, and this is an ideological battle between the ideology of the RSS and the ideology of the Congress party. That's the ideological battle. There are many opposition formations that believe basically in the ideology of the Congress party. To say that Congress party is minor partner is a wrong thing. Congress party is in opposition, is the biggest opposition in massive number of states. We have governments in large numbers of states. So we are by far the center of gravity of the opposition. Our conversation with opposition parties has to be one of mutual respect. We respect you, you respect us. And once we have that mutual respect, we can work together very comfortably to defeat the ideology of the BJP and RSS.
Actor Kamal Hassan has entered into politics and his party is projecting himself as a chief ministerial candidate. What is your assessment?
He is fighting the RSS BJP. He is trying to stop their entry into Tamil Nadu. He is a secular person. So I like that about him. He is also a very good artist.
The BJP is obsessed with elections. Whether it is a Hyderabad local body election, mayoral election, or the union territories election, or the assembly election, parliamentary election, they want to win everywhere. They plan meticulously. The entire Sangh Parivar works for them. Do Congress take elections with all seriousness, like BJP?
There is a reason the BJP wants all states to be under their control, because they are looking for financial domination. BJP and RSS is a money making machine. You have to understand that. It is attempting to monopolize the finances of the country. Okay? And it uses that monopoly to win elections and buy MLAs. If you look at the amount of money that the BJP has, you cannot compare any other party to the amount of money they have. Somebody should ask the question, where are they getting this money from? Where are they getting these thousands and thousands and thousands of crores from? Everybody says Narendra Modi is not corrupt. Okay, so then how does he get this money? That's the question to ask. And this money is being used to subvert the entire Indian electoral system. They are, for the most part, we have lost 5-6 governments simply because they bought our MLAs. They've just done it in Puducherry. They can't even wait 5 days. So that's what they're after. They're after complete domination of this country.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rahul. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and thank you everybody for watching. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. It's our pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
உடனுக்குடன் செய்திகளை தெரிந்து கொள்ள சன் நியூஸ் பெல் ஐகானை கிளிக் பண்ணுங்க.